I was 47, sitting in yet again another doctor's office, and the answer was the same one I'd been getting for 15 years. Everything looks normal. But I was suffering from joint pain, brain fog, migraines. I couldn't finish a sentence. I'm forgetting words. Forgive me while I go plug in my Fido. And this was epic brain fog. Like, not finish the sentence, took days to relocate the word. I had been going to doctors since I was in my mid-30s, trying to get somebody to listen to me. I asked for hormone tests in my mid-30s when I was in Texas. I was an Army wife for a very long time, so I moved a lot and I saw a lot of different doctors. And I was in my mid-30s suffering from consistent BV and yeast infections, and they just kept giving me the pills and the cream, and nobody would test my hormones, and that was before this was really a big conversation. So yeah, I was in perimenopause for over a decade before anybody did anything. And I saw doctors at 46 who were sending me to specialists. And yes, I know you have to weed out things like cardiovascular disease, etc. But I was saying, I've had all that tested. You can see it in my files. It's something else. And kicker, they were women. And they were women who were older than me. So age doesn't matter. Education doesn't matter. Knowledge doesn't matter if they haven't studied it. And still, nobody mentioned it. Nobody in my family mentioned this. I didn't grow up hearing about it like most of you. That is like the one of the most common threads is, none of us were taught about our period. None of us were taught about our menstrual cycle. And nobody was really taught about menopause other than it was called the change, to my understanding, and that it was hot flashes. Oh, and it meant you were getting old. So yeah, 15 years, not one doctor, not one specialist could figure it out. Nobody would listen. I spent 15 years getting answers that weren't answers. So if you're in your 30s right now, buckle up and listen. If you're saying something feels off, that is one of the most common first signs of perimenopause, is that something is not right. I don't feel right. Something's wrong. I feel off. Stick with me because this series is for you as well, not just my 40s and 50s and over. So when the medical system kept handing me back butt kiss, I started building a list. I started drawing my own map because I was fed up and I knew that I was right and I knew my body. So I went back to school. I became a coach. I got my master's in sport and health science, and then that wasn't enough. So I started my master's in holistic nutrition because I know how important food is, because we do it all day, every day, and it's what fuels our body. And then I started picking my rabbit holes. And one of those rabbit holes was peptides. And it wasn't because somebody recommended them. It wasn't because the doctor told me to go check them out. I wasn't given any kind of protocol. I was given, you're fine. And I was done waiting for permission. I was done waiting for answers. Nobody could do it. I had to take it on myself. Now, had I had really good insurance, I could have kept going and maybe gone more the functional med side of things, but I was burnt out. I was tired. I didn't have the time to spend researching doctors and continuing to go to one appointment after another fighting the insurance. It was time for me to take it into my own hands because I was fucking miserable. All right, so what are peptides? Short version, they're small chains of amino acids. Your body already makes them, and they work as signaling molecules telling your cells what to do. They repair tissues, they produce growth hormone, they regulate your sleep, which we know in perimenopause is mission critical. They help calm your nervous system, and they support your hormonal axis. Now, don't get it twisted. They're not hormones. Don't freak out. They are definitely not steroids, and they're not a replacement for the fundamentals. They are research tools. And I want to be very clear about something before we go any further. Nothing, and I mean nothing, in this series that I share is medical advice. I am not a doctor. I am not your doctor. This is not medical advice. I am a coach. I'm a holistic nutrition student. I'm a mother of 2 nearly grown adult daughters, 18 and 21, and I'm living in perimenopause in real time, and I've been going through it for 15 years. I implore you to do your own research, go down your own rabbit holes, and take the time to find a provider who will work with you. I finally found one. And as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Okay, here's what I am currently researching and cycling in the peptide arena. Oh, and P.S., did you know insulin's a peptide? It was discovered forever ago. These things have been around as long as we've been around, and identified as long ago as insulin was identified. So, each one of these is going to get its own full episode moving forward, so that you can understand the mechanism, not just the name, which sometimes the names are hard to know. Retatrutide. This is a triple agonist, GLP-3. My guess is if you've been on social media at all, you've heard of a GLP-1. We have several of them, and you can get them from your provider, like tirzepatide, Wegovy, they're brand names. But retatrutide is a triple agonist. It's not available through your doctor yet. And it's for things like metabolic health, insulin resistance, and the visceral fat shift that occurs to those of us in perimenopause and that we can identify and most of us don't like. But it's the cardiometabolic shift piece that isn't getting talked about enough for those of us in our 30s and 40s. Next, a favorite. I don't know that I have any that aren't truly favorites. There are a few, but BPC 157, Body Protection Complex 157. I've been using this since September, so about 9 months also. This is for joint pain, gut lining, and I started with this because I wanted to heal my gut because I've had problems with gluten and histamines, etc., 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 and I spent several years drinking wine up and down the coast of California, so I knew I needed to heal my gut. It's also for tissue repair and inflammation, which we probably all have. And this one has a regulatory story that I'm going to walk you through, just so you're aware. Semax and Selank. I love these, and they're a great duo. And these two work on your nervous system and your HPA axis, AXIS. Brain fog, anxiety, cortisol dysregulation. Is ringing a bell with anybody here feeling this? I'm at cortisol dysregulation. Sound familiar? Okay. Next, CJC, I'll have Max put these up on the screen. CJC 1295, no DAC, and Ipamorelin. Don't come at me for mispronouncing any of these, because good luck pronouncing them yourself. These are for your growth hormone axis, for things like sleep quality. My favorite for sleep quality. I have taken my sleep back unequivocally. Thank you, peptides and hormones. They have quite literally changed my life. And the CJC NODAC and Ipamorelin is for body composition. It will address the metabolic shift, more than likely, that started and starts years before it's called menopause. All right, now the purple peptide, the GHK-Cu. Copper peptide, collagen, skin, anti-inflammatory, and can be used as a topical. I inject it. I dilute it more than normal because it can leave a little bit of a sting, but this is some good stuff. And it's considered one of the most researched peptides out there in regards to aging. Oh, another sleep one that I love is DSIP. I call it DSIP, Delta Sleep Inducing Peptide. So sleep disruption can be one of the early onset signals of perimenopause. It's a symptom of perimenopause. And it's one of the last things that doctors take seriously or put a lot of time and thought into in my perspective, from my opinion, or in my opinion, I don't know. And this one, I don't know about you, but sleep, if I'm not sleeping and I'm not eating right, I am not somebody you want to be around. So I take it very seriously. And I feel like this one is under talked about, but I'm going to blow the lid off of it. All right. Now, NAD, NAD plus, and glutathione. Not traditionally peptides, but they live in the peptide arena. Same protocol. Think cellular energy, antioxidant, mitochondrial function. Your body is generally running on a depleted tank of gas in this phase of perimenopause, and this is the part that helps with the refill. All right, L-Carnitine, mitochondrial function, fat, oxidation, and cardiovascular support. Another one that's not strictly a peptide, but belongs in this protocol conversation. I love it. So estrogen's decline is going to hit your mitochondria, and this is part of how I address it. MOTS-c. Oh my God, I love all of these. I know it's annoying, and I take all of these or cycle through them throughout the week. I have a protocol etc. So we're going to go with this one, MOTS-c. And this one's going to stop people, and typically stops people when I start talking about it because it's not talked about a lot in the women's health space yet. It's a mitochondrial-derived peptide, meaning your mitochondria actually produce it. It's an exercise mimetic, meaning it mimics the effects of exercise. It works on insulin sensitivity and metabolic regulation. All things we can love. We do love. I love. In perimenopause, mitochondrial function declines alongside estrogen. And MOTS-c is one of the most under-talked about longevity peptides for us women, and I'm going to give it its own whole entire episode. And coming later in this series, I'm going to cover PT-141, epitalon, I don't know, kisspeptin, and PT-141, which will go into telomere length, which I find fascinating and I love everything about it. And you might too. Stick around for that one. The hormonal axis and the libido conversation that nobody is having for women, or nobody wants to have because it makes people uncomfortable that we talk about a vagina and a uterus and a clitoris. Oh, that is so frustrating for me. Anywho, did you know I used to sling sex toys? I have no issue talking about sex. So if you do, wrong channel for you. Oh, and masturbation. We can talk about that too. Anyway, keep going. These episodes are coming. Hang out, follow, like, subscribe, share this with your girlfriends who need to hear this. Go have coffee and talk about it. Please talk about it. Just so you know, this is not a series about optimizing from already feeling good. This is a series built from 15 years of being deep in the fucking trenches of perimenopause and being ignored, pushed off, not paid attention to, not taken seriously, not given a shit about, handed a book that said female brain gone insane that didn't help me in the moment. This is from having to learn things the hard way and not going to school to be a nurse or a doctor. Not that they learn about it as we've learned. They get, on average, 1 hour of education around menopause, and from a poll, out of the mouths of themselves, say they're not comfortable talking to women about it. And you would think OBGYNs would get more education. They don't. You need to find somebody who's taken the time to specialize in it, and you can get that off of the NAMS website, I believe, the Menopause Society website. You can find yourself a provider, hopefully through there. We also have things like MIDI Health. There's a lot of online medical help that is becoming available for those of us who have the right insurance, etc. And I understand that that is a privilege, and I'm going to do things to address options outside of having insurance if you don't have it. That's kind of also the peptide conversation. I'm not getting these from my doctor. I decided my body was worth the time and the energy that I have put into learning all of these things and being my own guinea pig. Because I want to feel good, and I want to age better than anybody in my life before me has aged. And I have these things at my disposal because we have the internet, we have books, we have social media that allows us to have the conversations and talk and figure the things out that people previous to us did not have and could not do. All right, girl. If you haven't done something to love yourself today, please go do that. And if you don't know what that looks like, send me a message and I will help you figure it out. All my love. Until next time, welcome to the peptide world.